In the journey to improve healthcare, early disease detection is critical to prevent, delay, or mitigate the symptoms of the disease. At the forefront of this effort is advanced intraoral technology, or what we call hearables. These small yet powerful wearable devices, positioned within the ear canal, serve as a gateway to a vast array of signals produced by the human body. Containing in-ear microphones, hearables capture signals with remarkable sensitivity. In fact, when the ear canal is occluded, vibrations generated by bone and tissue conduction become amplified. This means that subtle sounds, from the wearer's heartbeat to their voice, cough, breath, or even the blink of an eye, can be detected. At the École de Technologie Supérieure in Montreal, the Research in Hearing, Health and Assistive Devices Lab studies the continuous and simultaneous tracking of these diverse signals to participate in building a new era in predictive healthcare. With multimodal research, we aim to develop tools that don't just detect disease, but do so on a personalized level. In fact, we're aiming to develop a deeper understanding of individual patterns. By analyzing data from multiple angles, we would like to have the early stages of diseases specific to each person's unique biological and behavioral patterns. One of the diseases that we are currently focusing on is Alzheimer's disease, which studies show that there is potential to detect it 10 to 20 years earlier. Even though there is no solid treatment for Alzheimer's disease, there are multiple lifestyle changes that could be done early enough to prevent it and delay it. In the 100
Sorry, all some quick technical difficulties, but I will reach back to where we were.
One of the diseases that we are currently focusing on is Alzheimer's disease, which studies show that there is potential to detect it 10 to 20 years earlier. Even though there is no solid treatment for Alzheimer's disease, there are multiple lifestyle changes that could be done early enough to prevent it and delay it. In the 187th meeting of the Acoustical Society of America, during the live lecture on November 19th at 4:15 p.m. EST, titled Towards the Detection of Alzheimer's Disease Through Eye Movement Changes Using a Hearable, we will discuss our approach to studying how hearables capture saccades, those rapid, subtle eye movements that might indicate whether a person has Alzheimer's depending on their characteristics. We believe that studying these patterns could be a critical step towards early detection. In fact, Alzheimer's disease patients have saccades that are shorter, more variable, and less accurate. Also, eye movements cause vibrations of the eardrum, which can be detected by the in-ear microphones of the hearables. This means that hearables are a good potential method to track eye movement changes. This research is in collaboration with Dartmouth, Kermit, and Douglas Mental Health University Institute. With each step forward, researchers at RadLab and their collaborators work on bringing everyone closer to a world where health monitoring is not only proactive, but non-invasive and accessible, offering individuals and healthcare providers powerful tools to stay ahead of diseases like Alzheimer's. More information about the various research done in RadLab can be found on the website rad-lab.ca.
All right, thank you, Miriam. That was a really great presentation. I'll now invite you to come off camera and we can take some questions and hopefully have you answer them. All right. So, first question we have from Rick Lovett is, so if a patient is wearing this earpiece, how does the information get transmitted to the doctor for interpretation?
Uh, we still haven't figured out, so we still haven't done the actual wearable monitoring devices. We're actually collecting data so that we can prove that this could be done using this earpiece. And afterwards, we can maybe develop it more. Uh, we're now actually doing developing at the lab a way so that we can have it more as a wearable device, not just the wires that you can see here. So it's still under developing, but yeah, but eventually it would be ideal to have the data transmitted to a doctor via cloud or maybe uh, some post analysis.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a follow-up to that. Can you talk about how I know it's a little more technical, but how the data is collected and what it kind of looks like?
Yes. So we're collecting data through an in-ear microphone. So in this picture, you see the earpiece. There is inside an in-ear microphone that's inserted in the ear canal. And in this in-ear microphone, we have multiple signals. We can actually see the heartbeat, we can see the breathing, and now we're saying that we can actually see eye movement. We still doesn't have a concrete example from our database, but there are multiple examples in the literature.
And yeah, this is also part of that question about these kinds of hearables. These are look like very technical specific hearables. But I know you've mentioned the goal of this research in the press release that we did is to make this kind of diagnostics more available. So what types of research or what types of hearables are you using now? And then where do you see the hearables of the future looking like?
So now we're using something similar to the picture that you're seeing now. So this is actually the variable that I am using in this research. And my colleagues are using also similar hearables. But eventually, we would like to have like irregular earbuds that have in-ear microphones that can do the work that we want to do. And we can see that here, like right now, people are mostly using earbuds in their everyday life. So this is the aspect of being non-invasive, of being accessible to everyone that we want to reach.
So that's super interesting that this type of data can be collected from regular earphones as well.
Uh, if you have an in-ear microphone that's well inserted, you can have the vibrations because eventually this data is the vibrations propagated through the ear. So if you can capture these vibrations, you can have the data.
Okay, that's really cool. We have a question from Sam about the results of the research. So will the results of your research be published in a journal in the future?
Uh, Hopefully, it will, but right now this research is also part of a bigger one. So the participants and all the data that will be collected, it's multimodal. So we have more than just eye movement, and everything is going to be published, uh, describing what we did, and it's going to be open access database. So all researchers will have access to this database too.
That's very cool. That's really cool that other people will be able to access it as well. Um, so another follow-up from Rick. He asked the information is already being transmitted outside the ear. So the clarification earlier that you are already able to collect that information from the hearable. And all you have to do is kind of record it.
Yes.
Very cool. Yeah, so it seems it's really people are really interested in this research. It's very cool. And we have one more question from Jessica um, about other diseases that can be diagnosed using hearables. So, and especially diseases that would benefit from this early detection. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so eventually we're aiming to tackle more than just Alzheimer's. We're actually also looking into Parkinson's. We have another colleague that's working on Parkinson's disease, uh, but it's all like all the work is at the starting phase, so we're still now making proof of concept that this could actually be like this could happen using this hearable. So, and eventually, when we have a device that's been researched a lot for a long period of time, that could be also personalized to the person that's wearing it, we can find differences between the biosignals now and the past, and maybe we can find an early diagnosis.
Gotcha. And we actually have a really great follow-up. So quickly from Sam, so this research has kind of begun already. Can you explain the stage of the project that you're in?
Yeah, so now we're collecting data because there's a lack of data of biosignals that are recorded through an ear microphone. So, as I will be mentioning in the live lecture, we're recruiting participants with Alzheimer's disease, with mild cognitive impairment, and we're performing this project. We're also tackling different biosignals. So, after we collect data, we do some research, we make sure that we can capture everything. We know we can capture because, like the heartbeat, I can already see it in my database, but it's also a part of others' research. We have another colleague that's working on source separation, so this could be also interesting. But right now, our main focus is collecting data, have enough information, and have enough resources that we can work on and develop this kind of device.
Very cool. We're going to take one more question before we continue on with the press conference, but if you have another question, and if any journalist has another question, and wants to get in touch with Miriam, please email media@aip.org and we can help facilitate that interview. So, Miriam, the last question is about specifically the Parkinson's research. And if you're able to answer, can you talk about the biosignals from Parkinson's that are able to be picked up?
Yeah, so Parkinson's, I worked a little bit on some of the research, but my colleague is working more. So if you head to the website, you can also have more information. But basically, we're focusing now on swallow detection because Parkinson's disease patients have difficulty swallowing and regulating their breath. So we can actually swallowing is very visible when we get the signal from the in-ear microphone. So my colleague is trying to detect it, and like their whole project is about this. So this could also be a marker for Parkinson's disease.